And greetings, this is Anuradha. The topic of discussion is from World Literature in Translation on a poem titled If You Forget Me by Pablo Neruda. Before moving into the poetic lines, let's have a look into the author and a short intro about the poem. Pablo Neruda was born Ricardo Eliezer Neftali Reyes Basolto in Chile on July 12, 1904. He is said to be the greatest poet of his lifetime who wrote in Spanish. Neruda started writing around the age of 10. He then became an important Chilean poet. In 1943, he was elected to the Senate and became part of the Communist Party. Communism was banned in Chile in 1948 and a warrant was issued for Neruda's arrest. Because of this, he lost his Senate seat and had to flee from the authorities. Despite having to leave, Neruda continued writing during this period of time. In 1952, he returned to Chile because there was no longer a threat of being arrested. Neruda received various awards during his lifetime. International Peace Prize in 1950, Lenin Peace Prize in 1953, Stalin Peace Prize in 1953, and Nobel Prize for Literature in 1971. He died of leukemia in Santiago, Chile on September 23, 1973. Let's see a short intro about the poem If You Forget Me. This poem was written when Neruda was in exile from Chile. At that time, he had an affair with a woman named Methil Oresia. The poem might be written with Methil in his mind. Other critics believe this poem was written not to his lover but to his homeland Chile, warning her not to forget him while he is in exile. This poem depicts the longevity of love when cared for without ignorance. Regardless of the interpretation, this poem is one of the most popular love poems in literature. In this poem, Neruda presents a loving and romantic picture for his beloved, reminding her of how much he loves her. Towards the middle of the poem, his tone changes, warning her that if she stops loving him, he will also stop to love her. The tone in the last stanza of the poem, the speaker tells his lover that if she does not forget him, if she keeps on loving him, he will forever love her in return. This poem is comprised of 6 stanzas of varying length. The poem is written in free verse as the lines are unrhymed. Moving on to the poetic lines, if you forget me, I want you to know one thing. You know how this is? If I look at the crystal moon, at the red branch of the slow autumn at my window, if I touch near the fire the impalpable ash or the wrinkled body of the log, everything carries me to you, as if everything that exists, aromas, light, metals, were little boats that sail towards those isles of yours that wait for me. The first stanza, which is only one line, it can be read as a single thought, along with the title. If you forget me, I want you to know one thing. This lends a threatening tone to his lover, warning her of what will happen if she forgets him while he is away. The tone swiftly changes in the second stanza, where Neruda explains the depth of his love. The poet compares his beauty to the purity and spirituality of the moon and says that when he looks into the divine crystal white moon, all he can think about is her. In his mind, everything he feels or touches, even the burnt out things in the fireplace or dried out logs, makes him feel closer to her. The poem is an elaborative description of how the mind and heart of the poet functions every day in remembrance of his beloved one. The poet finds a smell in the sweet aroma of the air, her flickering eyes in the fireplace, and finds a glow in the metal pieces. The poet illustrates the belligerent screaming of his heart and how it aches for him To think if only everything could turn into a boat for him to travel oceans to be near her. It also presents a loving and romantic picture of his lover, reminding her of how much he loves her. Whatever he sees or touches will carry him back to her. Love imbibes itself into everything. Common subjects become reminders of a significant other because everything becomes connected to that love. Moving on to the third and fourth stanza. Well, now, if little by little you stop loving me, I shall stop loving you little by little. If suddenly you forget me, do not look for me, for I shall already have forgotten you. Third and fourth stanzas paint a very different picture and they serve as a warning to Neruda's beloved. The third stanza stands on its own, cautioning Neruda's lover that if she stops loving him, he will do the same in return. The fourth stanza continues the same thought as the speaker tells his beloved that if he is forgotten, she will be forgotten too. In order to emphasize this even more, Neruda only indicates that one thought into the stanza. It is interesting to note Neruda's diction in the last line. I shall already have forgotten you. He tells his lover that if she suddenly forgets him, he wants her to know that he was the one who forgot first. It has already been done. It seems important to him that she knows it is she who was forgotten first. Let's move on to the fifth stanza now. If you think it long and mad, the wind of barrenness that passes through my life, and you decide to leave me at the shore of the heart where I have roots, remember that on that day, at that hour, I shall lift my arms and my roots will set off to seek another land. Neruda continues to warn in this stanza too. He uses an extended metaphor of a shore and its land to warn his beloved of the consequences of her actions. The speaker views his beloved as his home, but should she decide to leave him, he will have no problem at all seeking another woman to fill her place. The poet does not want unrequited love. The poet believes in such love which is reciprocal to each other. Such a love develops mutual understanding and trust in each other. All he wants is true love, and his beloved should never forget him. Moving on to the sixth, that is the final stanza. But if each day, each hour, you feel that you are destined for me with implacable sweetness, if each day a flower climbs up to your lips to seek me, ah, my love, ah, my own, in me all that fire is repeated. In me nothing is extinguished or forgotten. My love feeds on your love, beloved, and as long as you live, it will be in your arms without leaving mine. In the stanza, Neruda changes his tone once again, this time returning to the romantic and passionate tone. If his beloved does not forget him and keeps on loving him, he'll forever love her in return. The poet states that his love is undivided and their love can be everlasting if she remembers him every day just like he does, if she longs for him as badly as he. Neruda compares his love for his beloved to a fire. It feeds off of the love his beloved has for him, and therefore it can only be extinguished if her love dies. The speaker closes by promising that as long as his beloved lives, the love they share for each other will be cradled between them in their arms. Poem If You Forget Me was actually a translated work from Spanish titled Si Tu Me Olvidas, and it was a collection from Captain Brises, and it was published in the year 1952. For reference, I have used the textbook of World Literature and Translation by the Board of Editors. It's an Angel Publishers from Chennai, and also internet sources. Hope you enjoyed listening to this video. Now I bid you adieu. Thank you.